It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS.
Yeah,
Dan, just to shift gears for half a second, because I happen to be on a similar podcast type show a couple of days ago for a bunch of salespeople. And someone asked me, they said, what can help differentiate me from my peers? You know, what can help me become better at what I do? And I promise you, I've never heard of or met Melisa before this meeting today. But as kind of a tone to this, because every time we have these things, someone brings up sales, right? And how do we improve this? How do we increase this? And I would recommend listening very carefully when we have these podcasts, if you're a business owner and you're listening to what people are doing, because Melissa's been on here talking about her business and about how they can help add value to a customer. But Melisa is a born and bred salesperson, and she knows she is from top to bottom. She's very good at what she does. And I've never met her before 54 minutes ago. But within the first 10 minutes of hopping on this, she added me on LinkedIn. She added David. She was able to determine who David's CRM was through researching on LinkedIn. You can tell she just has a knack for figuring out how to build that rapport, figuring out the information she needs to know. And what I've come to realize, even though I'm 36 and I've been around the internet my whole life, I grew up with the internet. The one thing I did really poorly up until 4 or 5 years ago was use data that is readily available at our fingertips. And when I hear people doing that, first I think, cool, good job, you're doing great. But it also makes me think you're an intelligent person that's understanding how to really utilize the information that's at your fingertips in order to make your business better and give your value to the potential customers you have. So just a little shout out. I just noticed some things she said and some things she went through that And then, by the way,
that was a nice little behind the scenes. Like, here's some things she did while we were on this call that was a badass.
Well, can I tell you the best part about it? The absolute best part. We had a conversation on the show last time we had it a couple of weeks ago about what differentiates you, Dan, in the marketplace, right? About how you're just yourself all the time. We talked about being genuine and being holistic, and you're one of the most holistic, genuine, down to earth people in the world. Not only did she do all that, she told David she did it. She literally said, no, I know who your CRM is. I did the research. There's something that's just got to be said about that. I like that. And I think it builds credibility.
She had no idea who you guys were and that you were even going to be on the show. I told her, there'll be some other guys. There'll be some other yahoos on the show.
Should we put it to test?
So shout out to Melisa on that part, because that's cool.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's interesting because I never really thought of myself as a salesperson until I owned a business. Like, I think we could even get into that as far as like always be selling, right? Always be closing. What is that? Glenn Ross or whatever. Like, but I feel like some people have it naturally, and usually business owners do, right? Because it is your baby, talking about the new baby reference, like it is your baby. It is your, everything you live for, right? And you live and breathe it. And so why wouldn't you want to talk about it, right?
Everyone's a potential client. Everybody knows somebody as a potential client.
It is your baby until they turn to a teenager.
Right.
Yeah. And then you're like, I need to go. Yeah. Well, I always say like, in my programs now, like outside of WorkIZ, I have, my own business still, and I do a pro organizer boot camp teaching women how to start their own organizing business. And on that note, they're constantly saying, well, I just want control. I want control. I want control. And I always say, you got to send the baby off to daycare, right? There are other people that can handle your child's well-being just as well as you can. You got to send the baby off to daycare, and you're damned if you don't delegate, right?